Hello, everyone. This is class, especially prepare for new debaters. I'm Juan Carlos Monroy. I'm president of Hult Debate Society at Hult International Business School. Also, I'm chairman of the Debate Society of Tech of Monterrey in Monterrey, Mexico. So today we are going to talk about the argumentation set one and how you can use this toolkit to make a better, presentation or make a better performance in a tournament or any kind of championship you have in mind to participate. If you have any questions, please reach us out in our official websites, either way, Hall Debate or SOCDEBMTY. So why is it important to learn how to argue? This is a really important question, really interesting question. Um, Argumentation is one of the three main skills we teach in a debate society. Uh, Body language and, of course, rhetoric are the other two ones. But we think that argumentation is one of the main skills you must to have in order to be persuasive and in order to achieve, you know, a good performance in a debate. So the argumentation is the first necessary soft skill in order to get a full understanding of being a professional debater. So, if you are trying just to make a novice and amateur professional debater, you have to start to learn and understand why argumentation is so important. A lot of the cases, a lot of times, is I cross with people. They say, I present an argument, or I talk with my mom and I present this argument, and she don't care. And the first question that got to my mind is like, do you really know how to argue? Like, because when people say structure arguments, I made some structure arguments. I'm like, I'm not quite sure about that. And more important, if I don't have a background on what they are specialized or skilled at. So, second point, learning to debate through the argumentation model will help you to improve your soft skills. There is this psychological movement called soft skills. Uh, some psychologists they stand that there is hard skills and some soft skills that you must to have in order to succeed in the professional world. And argumentation and debate are also one of the soft skills that are required in the industry nowadays. So we'll help you to improve your soft skills and help you getting engaged in conversation or topics. Argumentation model 3 point is the most relevant skill in order to get recognition as a master debate. Some people want to have a career into the debate, not just being debaters, but have a career in debate, go some tournaments worldwide, and this is the way have to start that career path. So what's an argument? This picture, it's well known. Some of you have watched it before, some of you know, but it's okay. The guy of the left said it's a 4, and the guy of the right said no, it's a 3. Sometimes we're talking about the same things. We're talking about the same topic, even though we are in the same side, but anyways, we cannot get into a kind of understanding. And this is a lot of to see with the communication process. This is something that I say to my students all the time. There is to deliver a message. The communication process is I'm the codificator. You are the receiver. I code the language. I code my message, and you decode that message. And then that's what happens. Sometimes something between that person it's just not happening the right way, and then obviously the message is not delivered as it's supposed to be. So it's a problem of communication most of the times, how to express, how to communicate where I'm starting or what's my point of view. So what's an argument? An argument is a logical verification of an idea. It's a structure, plan, and design in order to pursue through the power of our ideas. So this is important. It's an idea, it's a structure and plan and design in order to pursue someone throughout the power of the ideas, and that has to have some kind of a logical verification. Second, we must avoid the logical gaps in our arguments in order to don't do a free affirmation. This happens a lot. A lot of people, when they're talking about some topics, they're like, oh, global warming is so bad. It's killing us. it's killing us. It's a matter of humans. We started global warming, and they think they explain the issue, and they think they address whatever they were trying to address, but that never happened really. They just make an affirmation. There is nothing in between. There is any explanation how we did it or why we are guilty. It is just they're relying in the worldwide fact knowns, in something that is well known, and they're saying, we are the guilty ones. Well, I don't know if you don't prove it to me. So this is something important. Sometimes that's when I say, when someone tell me I made this argument and this one, I'm like, well, first of all, you know how to make arguments, because this is the part when you are, what you are saying has a bunch of logical gaps. How I can make me sure you are actually saying an argument. Three of them. There is plenty ways to argue. Of course, there is plenty of different strategies to approach, different ways to do it, different schools to do it. But we're going to learn two main ways to argue: line argumentation and nested argumentation. This is two ways of argument, build arguments, and pretty good examples how to, you know, won a conversation or won a debate. And this is the first set of argumentation. Obviously, this is something to get you ready, get you in touch with the debate world, but not obviously to make you a master or nothing like that. So we're gonna go about the Tolman model. We in debate talk about this guy a lot because Tolman actually bring us a model pretty interesting, pretty important to build ideas and to prove them logically. The first thing that I said in the last slide, I said, you have to make your arguments with a certain kind of a sort of logical affirmation, and this is the way. You have the data. What is the data? The ideas you have. I'm gonna try to prove that global warming it's our fault. As humans, we are the guilty ones. Well, that's my idea. I have to build a whole argument to try to prove that, or actually to try to defend my standing point. So here is an example. The data is, reference as a real chance of persecutions. Relocation within the country of origin is unlikely to do to protect. This is talking about what happens when you are trying to like in the Interpol, the international police. They caught a man who's been looking in his home country, and then certainly they have to get him back to his home country to get persecuted. The backing of that is High Court of Australia case of Chan versus Minister of Immigration, United Nations Refugee Convention, Article 9. They're saying, well, if he's a refugee, it will be not the best idea to extradite him to another country or his home country because they might kill him. So instead of being persecuted, he might lose his life. Interesting, interesting backing based in a precedent. Um, then a warrant to that backing. You have to back that backing. It says test for well-founded fear is real chance of persecution unless relocation affords protection. We might persecute here unless a relocation offers protection. Unless we can guarantee that anywhere we are gonna extradite him, he's not gonna die. And the position we do, or how we stand, where we stand, is country of determination, is a signatory to the United Nations Convention, So we can move him just if that country is determined by the UN Convention, he signed it, that convention, they're gonna kill him. The modality, we debate can identify arguments in three different ways. Mostly of us do that way. A political argument where you have to structure a model how the government will do that. A value proposition where you have to say whether it's better to do it or don't do it. You have to put in balance why it's better to do or to do not do. Then you have to make a claim, under that way of thinking, under that line of argumentation. Well, the refugee has a well-founded fear of persecution, so he has a fear that he will be, maybe he might die in his home country. But anyways, the rebuttal is that the refugee is a criminal. So the whole idea of this is, talking about whether we have to extradite someone to his home country when he's caught by the international police of any agency in in our country. But actually, the country has signed the United Nations letter, to refugees, and he considers himself like refugee, and he has feared that he will be murdered in his home country. So, but the huge rebuttal to this is, anyways, he's a criminal. So might we persecute him here or getting him to his home country? So refugee has a real chance of persecution. Relocation within the country of origin is unlikely to lead to protection. The High Court of Australia case of Chan versus Minister of Immigration, it's based on the United Nations Refugee Convention in their Article 9. The test for well-founded fear is real chance of persecution unless relocation offers protect that fear. And the presupposition is country of determination is a signatory to the United Nations Convention. Anyway, the refugee has a well-founded fear of persecution, otherwise or anyways, whatever, the refugee is a criminal. So this is a way to structure ideas in order to achieve certain kind of logical building of arguments and a logical way to do the things and connect our ideas in order that you are saying, this is the issue, this is this is how society, the government, how we are planning to back that argument, how we are planning to protect that idea. This is the protection over that protection, or this is where that protection is based on, and what are the facts that actually build that backing. And we're gonna make some assumptions, some presuppositions. This might happen. This might be because this. Anyways, we're gonna claim that he has a well-founded fear that we have this claim. This might happen if we actually go with this way, or we don't go with this way. That's the claim. And then, anyways, we also understand and we also know that he is a criminal. So this is the way that we want to build our ideas, because you are explaining, you are giving an explanation of what's going on and how this can actually happen. Let's go and look a little bit more in depth. So this is our first idea, the data. We want to implement the logical process to prove it. We must to define the logical boundaries of our ideas, define the context, and build a brief and explain what is our thesis. So this is where you say, I'm going to talk about global warming. So we have to, first of all, we have to define what is global warming. So we cannot talk about global warming if we don't know what the hell is global warming. So this is the place we actually say, global warming is a process where we are producing massive amounts of CO2, and this is obviously moving the environment over this and this and this. So we start to explain the issue here. The backend, here we have to explain the background of our history. Here is where we say, the status quo is a word we use in debate, to make you understand that this is where the things, or how the things are standing, that what's the standing point of our ideas right now, the context of the country, the story of the plan. So examples of where it works before, sometimes you are gonna say like, we're gonna make this because it actually happened and actually worked before. Well, we have to explain us how it worked before, where it worked before, and when. This is part of building that explanation. The modality, as far as the university systems of debate, we can identify three major groups of ways to bring together all kind of theses or presuppositions. Political, it's going to require a method of solution defined and with a structured basis. Value, we need to set a scheme of pros and cons of implement the defined strategy. The fact are mostly philosophical presuppositions and must to be proved with facts, that kind of the sun is a star. Well, it's more kind of, or the life has purpose. Well, there is a lot of definitions playing over that assumptions, so we have to, we cannot make cannot make a method for that, or we cannot make, there is pros and cons of the sun being a star. It's just based on facts. Then we go and we move the warrant. Our second backing examples, it's the way that we can guarantee that is going to help or it's going to actually build a solid basis on our arguments, are the reasons why we believe that our idea could be proved. The presupposition, we're going to add a figurative and literal tool in order to prove the viability of our propositions. What is a presupposition? assume, taking granted, or advance some examples of what we are actually trying to do. And a claim, we are claiming, we are bringing facts, an assertion of something as a fact, something that actually exists, something that actually is really the truth, something that we can claim as the consequence. And then we actually have to, add the rebuttal, a refutation, a contradiction of what was going on. So what is the conclusions of this? We have to do a brief of our debate when we're going to start. We have to explain the major points of our argumentation, what we're going to talk about. We have to bring to the spotlight the logical connections in order to prove our thesis. Just don't let your thesis flying around without explanation, because they're going to kill that explanations. Accept where is and where is not working, and explain how through our debate we connect logically our premises. How at the end of the day you have to say, after my speech, I prove you this, and this, because I give you these warrants, I give you these backings, and I actually explain you how this is going to affect us all, or how this is going to affect these people, or how this is going to affect our society, or how this is going to affect the government. And obviously explain the impact of our proposal. You have to explain what's the impact that that proposal is going to have in our realm, in our lives, or in wherever you are planning that to happen. Obviously, practice makes perfection. Practice makes it's the basis of all the strategies to debate, how to debate, and how to be a persuasive debater. I remember, I promise you to teach you how to make line argumentation and nest argumentation, but I think that's something more advanced. Now thinking carefully, that's something strategies of debate, more advanced strategies of debate. So obviously, if you are interested in learning how to debate in a better way and how to debate more structure, you are free to come and join us at the Debate Society of Tech Monterey or Hult Debate Society. Thank you very much.